Okay, so you can buy your pet and then you get your pet. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's really nice. It follows you around. That's cool. Okay, so now you want to unequip and a disequip. So let's look at how you have this all worked out. Server message, shop, pet manager. Okay, so you use that kind of stuff. Just turn off collide on the pet. Okay. That's a good idea. Okay. Pet, torso, char, scripts is a parent. Okay, so this will, so the shop will put the pet inside of the character model, correct? Wow, you have all of your shop stuff in one script. That is very organized. Okay, remote events dot buy pet fire server. So server manager. Oh, so I assume this pet.parent equals player.pet manager.disabled equals false. Okay. So I would, if I were you, how would I do this? Will people be able to buy more than one pet? Because if so, that makes this a little bit trickier, but if not, this is actually a pretty easy fix. Hello, Roblox Master. No, so does that mean they'll be able to have more than one pet? Sorry, I forgot what question I asked. So the pet is inside of my character model. Yep. Okay, so if you type, okay, Roblox Master, if you type : and then followed by your tutorial request, it will go on a list that I have, and I'm just going down the list one at a time. So if you'd like to be helped, just do : tutorial and then space whatever you'd like. There will be multiple pets. Alright, that should be pretty easy. So I am going to go ahead and make a new GUI button inside of your screen GUI. And I'm not going to make anything too fancy, so you can follow along if you want, or I can send this place back to you. But yeah, so I'll just put it here. And then I'll say, like, I'll say toggle pet. Okay. Now, So this is a weird song. I'm gonna skip this. I don't think I ever heard a response from you guys. Is the music quiet enough? Like, it's not annoying, is it? Okay, what was I doing? So I will have a local script. Sorry, it takes me forever to find local scripts. So now what I'm going to do is, this is going to be just a really simple script. Oops. Local event equals game get service replicated storage colon, I guess we'll do wait for child just for fun, and we'll call it pet manager, sure. And then we'll say event, oh wait, no, script dot parent dot mouse button, nope, mouse button one down connect function. Then we'll say event fire server. And so basically we're going to have to handle all of this on the server because it deals with the player's character, which is something that everyone can see. So we will have to be doing this on the server, so we have to fire over to the server. And I guess I'll say I should also have a bool value, huh? So I'll say equipped equals fall. Dang it. No, I'll say equipped equals true, because when you first get the pet, it's equipped. So if equipped, no, I'll just say we'll handle all this on the server. There we go. Okay. So now, since I did that, I have to make a I have to make a remote event. And what did I call my remote event? See, I like what you're thinking. Maybe I should make it a global value. Oh, thank you, Roblox Master. Pet manager, that's what I called it. And then inside of the server, we will also make a script that is called the same thing. And so here is where we will go replicate. Dang it. Sometimes my shift button is really picky. Equipped. How did I spell it? Equip. PPD. So just so you know, When it comes to passing through stuff like this does not have to be the same as this. It just makes it a little bit easier if it is. So that's just like a tip for you guys. When it comes to parameters, it doesn't have to be the same. How did I learn how to script Roblox, Lua? I did it by... Basically, I already knew how to program in C#. I learned that when I was like 14. And so when I when I started Roblox when I was like 14-ish, I already had experience with programming languages, which really helped. But Lua, if I were to show you a C# thing, Lua is a lot different from C#, just syntactically. I don't know if that's a word, but so it is quite different. But I think knowing one language always helps you learn a second one. And so what I did was I just looked it up other people's scripts. I would just go into free models and like look up like a lava script or something and look and see how it all works. Or reading the Roblox wiki some nights before. This sounds kind of funny, but sometimes nights before I go to bed, I'll be laying there and like my wife will be looking at Facebook, but I'll be like reading something on the Roblox wiki, trying to figure out something for a tutorial for the next day. So really, it's kind of like what people say, you just gotta like get good, and by that I mean you just gotta practice. Of course, if you are really serious about it, I think buying a book to learn Lua would help. That would help you tremendously. It wouldn't help you specifically with Roblox Lua, because I don't think anyone's ever written a book on Roblox Lua, but it would help you with Lua in general, which would make you insanely good at Roblox Lua, because all you would have to do is learn the different quirks of their API and then you're good to go. But you would already know the language, how loops work, conditionals, variables. They have Roblox Lua books. That's funny, I didn't know that. But anyways, sorry, I got distracted. So yes, my advice, just look at other people's scripts, try to figure out what they're doing, try to make things for yourself, just simple things. If you want, in a minute, I'll show you the first script I ever made I'll show you the first script I ever made completely on my own. Wow, they really do have a scripting book. That is huge. Okay, this is my new answer. You want to learn how to script? Read this book. When I was 14 and I was learning how to do C#, I sat down with a C# book. It was called Learn C# in 24 Hours. I read that book probably 4 times within like a couple weeks, and that helped me tremendously. So if you want to learn how to script Lua, read this book right here. Thank you for sharing that, Roblox Master. So where were we? Oh yes, we were just equipping the pet. So we'll say if equipped then, and we'll say local, well, I guess we can do this before. Yeah, I want to do this before. So we'll say local pet equals player. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Local character equals player dot character. And then local pet equals player dot, or I just made a variable to hold the character and I almost put player dot character. Okay, so character find first child. Oh, and knowing how to type fast really helps with programming too. Find first child, and I guess we'll just say Pat. So with this, you'll have to make sure all the pets are just called Pat, but yeah. Local pet equals blah blah blah, fine. Okay, if Pat, then if equipped, jeez, I cannot spell equipped then. So now we will make the, so here's the thing, Andrew. So if you only, this is why this is kind of tricky, because if you only had one pet, like if a player could only buy one pet, all I would do is just make the pet invisible. But since they can buy more than one pet, that means I have to find a place to store the pets. And so, and you want them to be kept on respawn. And so, this kind of means that the way I want to do this probably isn't going to work. So what I want to do, I know what I want to do. I want to redo the way pets work entirely. So this is kind of going to be a pain, but you're going to have to deal with deal with it. But no, really, I'm going to rework the way your pets work. So what I'm going to do, let me tell you what I'm going to do, and you can tell me what you think. So I am going to, whenever, and that's why I did event. Yeah, okay. So thank you. So what I'm going to do is when you buy a pet, I am going to create a folder inside of the server storage, and I'm going to name it after the player, and so it'll be called like Ry123's pets or Andrew's pets or whatever. Yes, so like and so inside the server storage, and then it will be populated with pets. And so every time they equip or disequip their pet, it will go to and from that folder. So the thing is, maybe I can just do it with, oh, I'll bet I could just use your shop GUI. So here's another thing that I'm thinking. What if we do that same thing, but we say like if the pet, if they already own, so let's say, I'm sorry, I'm like being jumbled as crap. So okay, player joins a game, they buy a pet, okay, they have their pet, and then they say, oh, I don't want my pet anymore. What if they, to equip and disequip their pet, they just open the shop and click on the pet button instead of having to click a completely separate button? That way they can just click and click on the pet they want, so that way it doesn't have to like be like 6 different buttons all over the place. Because if I did this like a separate button for it, I'd basically have to make a separate menu so they could re-equip whichever pet they wanted. But if you just did it all from the store, then I already have a menu. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get rid of this button actually, and then we are going to try to see how this deal works. So local events, okay, so that's tweening stuff. Remote events, so buy pet fire server dot buy pet. Okay, so that one handles the buying the pet. This is a local event. Okay, so this just handles opening the shop, so I don't need this one. But this one handles buying the pet. Okay, good. So now this is my script. I don't want my script. I want this one. Okay. So I'm sorry this has taken me so long. Sometimes you have to think about a problem before you can solve it. I personally probably jump into coding too quick. If I was a smart programmer, I would think before I code. Okay, so sorry, I'm looking at the chat really quick. Just a second. Okay, so local pet equals shop.pet.clone. So I think from your button, you should pass in a parameter that says like what button, since you have all the buttons being handled in the same script. So for example, once you get a new buy button, you'll have to like copy and paste this, but change it to like, you know, buy pet 2 or buy lobster or whatever. So I think you should have a parameter in here later on when you get more pets that says what pet they bought, so that way you can handle which pet they bought in here. But basically, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to, so if not player, okay, so that checks to see if they already have the pet. So I am going to do this. So if local pet folder equals player, no, game get service server storage find first child. No, not ancestor. I actually used find first ancestor the other day. I never thought I would use it, but it's actually pretty useful when you're trying to do certain things, which surprised me. Find first child, and we'll call it player dot name. I don't know. It's pets or something. Oops. Sure, that works. And then we'll say if pet folder, we'll say if not pet folder, then. So this is checking to make sure if the player already has a pet folder, and if they don't, we're going to go ahead and create them one. So then I will say pet folder equals instance.new folder, and I will put it in the game. So does anybody know, when are you supposed to use get service and when are you supposed to just use like game dot? Like, could I use game dot server storage here and be fine? Or should I always use game : get service? Oops, I forgot a closing bracket. Okay, so now that'll make that new folder, that'll put it there. We'll say pet folder dot name equals player dot name dot dot pets, and that will make their pet folder if they don't have one. And then what we're going to do is we are going to, now we will check to see if they have the pet. So we'll say if not player character find first child pet, or oh wait, it's or or so how does the not work with this? If not, or not. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Sometimes if statements, especially in Lua, are worded kind of funny. You don't know if you believe it's more reliable? See, me neither, but like every time I would make a tutorial in the past and I wouldn't use get service, it would seem like people would have a lot more problems. So like maybe you have to use it from a local script. I don't know. So I'm going to change this a little. I'm going to say is not equal to nil, just so I can keep better track of this. Oh, sorry, I mean is equal to nil. And or. Let me think. So if that returns false, then that means it will try. Yes, I need an or. No, I need it. And dang it, hold on. Okay. Well, let me type the rest of it and I'll think about it. And I'll say game. Oh wait, and I'll say and pet folder find first child pet is equal to nil. Okay, so let me think through this. So if it isn't in their model and it isn't in their folder, then they'll create a new one. If it isn't in their model or it isn't in their folder, then it will create a new one. No, I want and. Okay. So basically, when you make it so that you can buy more pets, you're going to want to replace pet here with whatever variable you use to hold the pet that they bought, like the name of the pet so it'll be like turtle or whatever. I don't know. So this can stay the same. That's all good. So I think that should be good. Cause that handle, why is there I like how the person that coded this put semicolons at the end of their line. That's funny. Okay, now I'm gonna put else if no. Jeez, I'm sorry guys, this is tricky to think through. So this will make the pet if they don't already have it. Now I have to handle hiding the pet if they do have it. So that means else if player.character find first child pet, then so that says if they currently have their pet equipped, then we will disequip the pet. So we will say local pet equals we'll just do this. Local pet equals player dot character We just did the same thing as the line up above, but it doesn't matter. Pet dot parent equals pet folder, right? And then we'll say else if player dot, no, we'll say pet folder find first child pet, then so I don't want to have to declare this pet variable every time. That's kind of stupid, but I'll do it anyways just so it's easy. Equals pet folder find first child pet, pet dot parent equals player, no, yeah, player dot character. So I doubt this will work because I just did it real quick, so I'm gonna test it. It probably won't work, but we'll see. So did that give me a pet? It did not. Oh, that's why I have a syntax error on line 26. Did I forget a... Oh, I know what I forgot. I forgot the ends. This is something I hate about Lua. You have to put a separate end for each else if, and it looks really dumb. But, you know, Lua for ya. So now when I click that, I should get a pet. And then, so now I should have a pet folder in the server storage, which I do. So now when I click it again, my pet should go into my pet folder. Okay, that's good. And then when I click it, come back up shop. When I click it one more time, my pet should go back into my model. Da 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 da. How's that for ya? So I just realized there is a problem with this though. So if I die with the pet disequipped, like this, my pet will still be able to be equipped. However, if I die with my pet equipped, then we have a problem because he's not in my folder and he's not following me anymore. So we're gonna have to fix that. What happens to your pet when you die? Does it just disappear? I guess so. So we're going to have to fix that. We're going to have to change this up a little bit. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to clone the pet into the pet folder like we do here. So this will stay the same. So here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of taking the pet out of the folder, else if player, so this is if the player has their pet, we'll put it, no, we want to just destroy the pet. So say pet dot parent equals pet folder, and then we'll say new pet equals pet clone new pet dot parent. What's the pet script called? Pet manager. Alright, so do you see what I'm doing here? Oh, so if the torso disappears, the pet will? That's pretty clever. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? So when the... Here, I'm gonna put comments. If the player doesn't own the pet. So this is what happens if the player doesn't own the pet. So we will clone the pet in the server storage. Then we'll put the pet inside the pet folder. Then we'll clone that pet and we'll put it inside the character and enable the pet manager. Now for this one, we'll say if the player has their pet equipped, then it will say player. So if the player has their pet equipped, it will find the pet inside them and then it will just destroy the pet. And then if the player already has the pet but not equipped, equipped, then what we do is we clone the pet in the pet folder, then we put it in the character. So this way there will always be a pet in the pet folder. Alright, so yes, where were we? So buy the pet, pet's there, pet is also inside of my folder, and now pet is disappeared, pet is still in my folder, and if I die with pet, I think I'm going to, at the end of this stream, I'm going to disable I'm going to disable people being able to post links. But anyways, so you can see I still have the pet. When I go to equip it, he's there. I say a lot, I'm sorry.